This month, I learned a few things. Hola tomodachi, 欢迎光临 il mio canale Nikki in Flight. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm an English teacher, dental assistant, software engineering master's student, digital artist, and aspiring polyglot. I currently speak and am working on English, Spanish, Chinese, Italian, and Japanese. Today is video number 3 in my language vlog series. Currently, I'm working on my Chinese 3-month challenge where I'm focusing solely on Chinese. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out the first video in this language vlog series. I will link the video as well as the playlist for the entire series in the card in the description. As is my custom in every language vlog, I want to speak a little bit in my target language, which for now is Chinese, and I'm going to just give a bit of a progress update of how my month went. 我觉得上个月过得很好，我做了很多的东西，我学过了71的词语，我也上4或者5堂课，我觉得这个很好。我也觉得我提高很多，我没有具体的metrics 对于我的听力，但是我觉得我的听力一点点提高。我想做我忘了，我应该做我的听力考试。我一定要做我的听力考试，和我要放在这儿我的评分。我不知道。Future Nikki here, and oh my gosh, my score is getting worse. We'll talk about it in the next vlog. 上个月我没有很多的新的东西，很多的 resources 什么的，但是我有一个新的 YouTuber 我找到的，他的名字是或者他的有关频道的名字是Dr. Kher 张牙医，我要放他的名字在这儿，我也要放他的链接在描述中。Kher 是这么好的 resource， 因为他是 dental assistant， 不是 dental assistant， 他是 dentist。doctor， 它可以说明很多的牙科东西。我找到一个视频在阐述根管，和我得到很多有用的词语，所以我很喜欢他的频道。我有一个小的问题，他的口音一点点难明白，因为他说的一点快一点，我不知道怎么说明，我在英文或者中文也不知道。是什么我不知道，但是这个不是一个大的问题，因为我只想学习新的词语和语法，和我就能得到这些的东西。我制作可能2分钟或者4分钟的他的视频，但是我得到这么多的东西，这么多的词语，这么多的语法，新的语法不是新的，有些的是新的语法，但是有些的我只不明白这个语法，我觉得我知道什么意思，但是语法结构不太明白，所以这些的东西我要问我的老师。如果你想学习牙科词汇，我真的推荐他，因为他有很多的东西关于牙科，所以你可以永远看他的视频。Okay, that's it for my Chinese part. The rest is going to be a bit about the things I learned this past month. The first thing I want to talk about is how right I was about my Anki, like how much I add to Anki each time. Because I felt, I don't know, nobody said this to me, but I just felt like 10 words a week is just so like pathetic, 10 words. I had chosen 10 words from past experience, but at the same time, I was still feeling a little guilty that maybe it wasn't enough, especially for what my goals are in improving my Chinese. Maybe 10 words or new sentences, new phrases, however I have it, may not be sufficient. It might mean I wouldn't reach the goals I'm trying to reach, However, this past month, I found after finding Kher and just kind of getting excited about the resources I already had and learn all the new words I was learning. things from my classes and all that, I just ended up with like more than 10 words per week. As you can see, I ended up with 71 words, new words and phrases for the whole month, which is way past my quota. If you haven't watched my previous videos, you probably don't know what that is. My quota is 40 words for the month because it's 10 words a week. 40 to 50, of course. And I'm at 71. And it might not sound like that much more, but it had an impact, let me tell you. So what ended up happening is I added all these new words to my Anki. Because of the way I structure my Chinese cards, I have 2 cards made. I think it's 2. Yeah, 2 cards made per single note. So if I add 10 words, 10 sentences, it actually makes 20 cards. So that's manageable because I allow 10 new words to be added each day. Even if I don't finish my Anki deck, like every day finish my Anki deck, I still don't have that many that I have to do the next day. Usually it doesn't add up that fast. However, because I was having just like a few extra words every week that were doubled, of course, added to my Anki, I ended up pushing off more words to the next day until I ended up maxing out my daily limit. Like I ended up hitting my daily limit of 100 cards a day, and I never do 100 a day. It just takes me too long. I read the question completely, say the answer out loud, and then read the answer. So it takes a little bit more time than just like flipping through flashcards with single words. And it's because I do sentences or phrases. I don't do single words. That's just how I like to learn and how I like to teach as well as a result. Anyways, what ended up resulting out of that is I got super intimidated. Every day I would look at my Anki and it was just growing and growing, and I'd just do a little bit, or some days, I'm sorry to say, none at all. So I skipped some days, and of course the words just increased. Thankfully, I did eventually grind out the entire list one day. However, it's because it hit the 100 limit, that means the next day is going to be more than my normal anyways. And the other thing that happens when I miss days or don't complete a deck is I don't get to see the words on time. So that means I start to forget them, which means I have to repeat them, which means it adds to my next day list even more. So it's just a downward spiral. It's terrible. So that's why I proved myself right. 10 words a week is the perfect number for me, at least for my schedule. I'm sure for you, maybe 100 words a day is no big deal. In fact, I've heard people talk about their Anki list where they do 100 words a day, and that's no big deal to them. Part of it, I think, is when they're doing single words, so you can flip through those cards really quickly. And then for some people, maybe even if they do have phrases or sentences, it might not be a big problem for them because they have more time. I'm just too busy. I only have a little bit of time I can give to my Anki. And it's really just to maintain my other languages while I focus on my Chinese. So, but I don't want to let go of that. The other thing that Anki really helps me is to kind of keep me on track. So if I know that I've completed my Anki, I feel like I've checked that box, and that checking off that box gives me motivation and drive to keep going for my other goals, and check my Duolingo box, and check my poem review box, and check my song review box, and make sure I get my 20 minutes. So everything gets checked off because of that one thing that I did. So that's one thing I definitely learned and proved to myself again that is really important, that I keep my Anki lists manageable. Actually, it just reminded me of a podcast I was watching. I think it was the Huberman Lab Podcast. If you're into science like me, or the brain, neuroscience is like my favorite part of science. He's a really great podcaster to watch. He's a neuroscientist at Stanford, and he talks about how to apply the science to your practical everyday life. Anyways, there's a video on learning and learning languages, and one thing they talked about that I thought was really interesting was the fact that for adult learners, it's better to have shorter amounts of learning more frequently, as opposed to kids who can take large amounts of learning in one bout. So I actually thought about that. I was like, maybe that's why my 10 word per week thing is so important to me, or works so well for me, is because of this part of it. I think it's if you're 25 and over, basically this is how you should learn. If I can find back the video, I'll try to remember to link it. And the last thing I want to talk about is how my progress has been going with learning the new poem. I have to say it's not going very well. I have scheduled it into my schedule to do 5 minutes of the poem every day. just 5 minutes where I'm gonna just like transcribe the poem and then translate the poem and then review the poem, like say the poem a couple times. But I have to do it line by line because I only give myself 5 minutes. And it's just to make myself do it every day. And it's kind of I don't know if you've heard of the 2-minute rule. When you really don't want to do something, you just make yourself do it for 2 minutes. Similar to that, because I really am not enjoying it. I forgot how much I dislike memorizing things just to memorize things. Anything I memorize is for utility. I'm going to do something with it, basically. Songs, on the other hand, very different. I can sit and memorize a song because I like how it sounds, and it's something I can keep singing. So the poems, I don't know that there'll be a time where I'll feel like, oh, I just want to recite this poem, you know? But the songs, like, I know that I'm going to want to sing this song, and it happens to me all the time. Like, I start singing a part of a Chinese song that I know, and then I can't sing the rest of it because I don't know the words, you know? So I know that trying to learn the song is going to like pan out eventually. I'm going to find use for it in the future. So songs are different, but poems I'm not enjoying the process, is what I'm saying. I'm not liking it. I'm not having fun. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I could think of that happened this month that I thought was of note that I could put in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you heard anything or I talked about anything that interests you, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you and your opinion on it. I had a comment last time that was telling me that they were excited to learn about Anki. And if you ever want to know more about anything I talk about too, do leave a comment and let me know. I can add that into the next video or something. After this is going to be my last month for my Chinese. February is my last month for my Chinese challenge. So fingers crossed it goes well. And if you're doing a challenge or anything similar, I'd love to hear about that too. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.